Welcome back to the Team to Beat Miami Heat podcast, your one-stop shop for daily Miami Heat content. This is the post-game show. Miami Heat just lost to the Milwaukee Bucks 120 to 113 in Milwaukee, and the Miami Heat blew another double-digit lead. They were up by, I think, 14 at most in the first half. They were up by double digits in the second half. Tyler Herro scored 40 points once again, had a terrific game, and we have lost now every game that Tyler Herro has scored 40 points this season. So the Miami Heat are 0-3 when Tyler Herro has scored 40 points, and not one single game was Tyler's fault. Tyler has been amazing this season. Yes, he's had a few games where he's been a little inconsistent and shaky before the All-Star break, but the last game before the All-Star break was against the Dallas Mavericks. I think he had 30 points or whatever it was, or maybe more. And he's bounced back. And he's been carrying this team offensively all season long. And Bam played great. Wiggins played pretty solid, even though he was really inefficient from the field. We'll go over that later. But our top three guys scored over 80 plus points, and we were unable to win. And that's what mediocre, average teams do. And so, again, I've decided to temper my expectations and not get as mad and tweet all game long and getting upset, except for certain occasions. Against the Raptors, if we were going to lose that game, which the Heat were up, and then they allowed the Toronto Raptors to come back when they had multiple guys out. Even Scotty Barnes got hurt. He came back eventually in that game, but that's a pathetic loss. Losing to a lottery team, a team that's like 13th, 14th, 15th in their conference, those are horrible losses. The Bucks are a top Eastern team. I think they're like, what, 5 or 6? I'll double check. They have Giannis. They have, obviously, Dame Lillard. So I wasn't expecting the Miami Heat to win this game, especially on the road. The Heat they were 0-2 against the Bucks this season. They lost by 3 the first game against the Bucks at home. Then the last game in Milwaukee, they lost by like 20-something points and got destroyed. Damian Lillard and Giannis went off in that game. So I wasn't expecting the Miami Heat to win. I was predicting them to lose by 4. And I was close. And I didn't want them to lose, obviously. But when the Miami Heat blew another double-digit lead, I wasn't surprised because, again, the Bucks are a playoff team. And I expect the Miami Heat to struggle against playoff teams. I expect them to also beat some good teams and beat a New York Knicks. We're going to play the Knicks pretty soon. I can see the Miami Heat beating the Golden State Warriors in Jimmy Butler's return to Miami, which I think is in March 5th or 6th, so like in a few weeks from now or less. I could see them winning those games, or I could even see them being in the lead against the Celtics and then blowing that, kind of how they did against the Thunder and a few other games this season when they've been up double digits against a really good team, and then they come back down to earth. So, again, this is a now young-ish team with 3 new players. Andrew Wiggins has been solid the last few games, and I think he's going to be solid as part of this big 3 with the Miami Heat with him, Bam, and Tyler. But it's going to be tough to win games overall just because of our depth right now. And because, again, we're a young team. And so we're going to have to go through these growing pains. So it's frustrating for sure. I'm pissed more so that we blew another game where Tyler scored 40, where you couldn't get enough help off the bench specifically. Spo was not helping him in any way, especially coming into the fourth quarter when Giannis was taking his break. Kevin Porter Jr. goes off, so defensive lapses. Defense was okay. Wasn't bad or horrible, but you allowed them to score 120. You obviously got outscored big time in the fourth quarter, so your defense faltered in the fourth. And then the rotations, like Spo, like not being able to stop Kevin Porter Jr., which was frustrating, but also having Terry Rozier in there. And it's a theme where when Terry Rozier is playing for Tyler Herro or whoever, he is not good. Like defensively, he's a liability. And if he's not hitting shots, there's no reason for him to be out there. And he was terrible tonight again. And that's when the run happened. And that's when they came back. And he did take him out, I think, I don't know if Terry came back after like 9 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter, but still, he was part of that rotation at the end of the third and at the beginning of the fourth. And Kyle Anderson was in there too as well, and he wasn't doing anything really. Niko Jovic, unfortunately, broke his finger. Or they said they fractured his hand, but I think it was like a finger or two. And so that's going to be a huge loss because he was our sixth man essentially coming off the bench, playing really solid. Um, of late, obviously, he's going to be up and down because he's 21 and he's a role player, but he's been pretty solid. And now that he's hurt, I could see Hawkes coming back into the rotation and Kyle Anderson getting those minutes. But right now, we're not really deep, and Spo has had a tighter leash these last few games, and he only had an 8-man rotation until Jovic got hurt and then played Kyle. And so Kyle is like at the back end of the rotation. Like he did play against the Raptors, but he played against them late. And so he only came in, I think, because Jovic was injured. So he's going to get more time. I think Hawkes, who's been out of the rotation completely since All-Star break, the last 2 games, or since coming back from it, he's probably going to have to get some time back. Or even Haywood Highsmith. Like, I don't know what Spo's doing, but like, I don't know what our record is. If someone in the comment section can tell me what is our record since Haywood Highsmith has basically been out of the rotation. It can't be that great because we lost 4 games in a row before the All-Star break. And so we've won 1 out of the last 5 games, which is really, really bad right now for this Miami Heat team because we're super inconsistent and shaky. And yeah, I don't understand what Spo's doing with those rotations. And, fourth quarter, we had that defensive lapse. I think we got outscored 35-20. I'll double check real quick. So let's see. So yeah, 20-35 outscored in the fourth quarter. So this seems to always happen. We ran out of gas outside of Tyler Herro. We didn't have many folks contributing. Bam was okay in the fourth quarter, but Andrew Wiggins, and was solid. Most of his points came in the first half, but he was 7 for 20 from the field, which is not efficient enough. But still, he did end up with over 20 points. But scoring 20 points in the fourth quarter and allowing 35, that's the ball game right there. That's the recipe for disaster. But it was a tough game. The first half was really fun, and I was really enjoying that first half. Tyler Herro in the first quarter had 8 points, 6 assists in the first quarter. He started off the game with an alley-oop to Kel'el Ware. He had multiple alley-oops to him in that first quarter. Giannis, had an amazing game as well. Like he came out, hit a 3, his like first 3 in I don't know how many games. He only has like 7 on the year. He hit some jumpers, like 20-foot jumpers, and he was making like turnaround shots. Like it was a good, exciting back and forth game. And then Tyler Herro again was great in that first quarter. Bam Adebayo was aggressive to start the game. He had a nice putback dunk, had a nice little turnaround jumper, and was using his speed finally on Lopez, who's a little bit older now. He's 36 years old, not as mobile as he used to be. And so they were doing good. Like the Miami Heat played really well. The Heat were up by 10 after that first quarter. Wiggins got fouled on a 3-pointer that he made, and he now has the most 4-point plays in the NBA at 7. He's, I think, leading James Harden. And so we had a really good first half. Wiggins was heating up. He had some great post moves and floaters. Like the Heat went on a 22-5 run in that second quarter. They were up by 10. Like again, mostly through that fourth quarter. Wiggins was playing great defensively. Herro had 16 points at half, and then the third quarter, Bucks came out on a 9-0 run, and that second half was kind of just the downfall of the Heat. They were still up going into the fourth, but they lost a lot of momentum in that second half, and it was a rough game. So we got to look into the box real quick before we hop off. But Tyler, again, like I said, great game, 40 points, 7 boards, 11 assists, almost a triple-double, 12 for 27 from the field. He was getting to the paint a lot, which is great, finishing at the rim, especially early on. 3 for 12 from 3, which is not great, but he had to hoist up 3 or 4 in that fourth quarter, the last 5 minutes or so, because the Heat were down and no one else could score. So that kind of affected his percentages, but he shot 14 free throws. That has to be a career high. I don't think I've ever seen Tyler Herro shoot 14. He was 13 for 14 from the field. He was great. He was a +7. Wiggins, again, solid, but just really inefficient. He was 7 for 20 from the field, 1 for 5 from 3, 20 points, 6 boards, 4 assists. He had a block and a steal. He had 4 turnovers, which was rough. He was a -15, but it wasn't all his fault. He was playing with Robinson, Rozier, and Kyle Anderson at times. Kel'el, solid, 12 and 12, 4 assists, 6 for 10 from the field. He had 1 block. He was pretty good in that third quarter. He had like 8 points, I believe. Bam, again, continuing his aggressive play, scoring over 20 points, 9 out of the last 12 games, I believe. 24.7 rebounds, 1 assist, 10 for 16 from the field, 2 for 2 from 3, hit like a logo 3, 2 for 3 from the line, had 1 steal, no turnovers, which is huge. Bam has been turning over a lot. Davion Mitchell, solid game, 34 minutes. It only took 4 shots, but he was at 5 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, had a steal and a block, no turnovers. So solid on his end. And then the bench, we had 12 points off the bench, which is just atrocious. So Duncan played 21 minutes, only 1 for 3 from 3. And Nico in 15 minutes, he's solid. 7 points, 2 boards, 3 for 4 from the field, 1 for 2 from 3. No turnovers, but then he got hurt, so he was limited. And then Terry Rozier, 10 minutes only. Thank God he only played 10 minutes, but those 10 minutes were detrimental. 2 points, 2 rebounds, 0 for 4, 0 for 2 from 3. He was a -7. Pelle Larson not in the rotation. Hawkes not in the rotation. Kevin Love not in the rotation. Alex Burks didn't get to play tonight, and Haywood. I don't understand why Terry's getting any minutes. You give those minutes to Alec Burks. You give those now maybe to Jaime Hawkes and Kyle Anderson. So you take out Rozier. Jovic is going to be out with the injury for a while, maybe the whole season. Who knows? Not much time left for him to come back. I'm assuming he's done for the year. So Jovic's minutes should get split up between Anderson and Hawkes. See who's the hot hand that game, and then Burks should definitely get Rozier's minutes. Like, there's no reason to be playing Terry Rozier. So frustrating loss for this Miami Heat team. If we go on the Bucks team real quick. So Lillard, 28 points, man. He crushes the Heat every time he plays him. 3 rebounds, 8 assists. He had 9 for 17 from the field. Brook Lopez, only averaging 12 a game, but had 17 tonight. He was great. Kyle Kuzma was solid with 16 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. Giannis killed us, 11 for 18. 32 minutes only, 23 points, 16 rebounds, 7 assists, a block, a steal. And off the bench, Gary Trent Jr., 16 points, 4 rebounds, 3 for 5 from 3. He was great in that first half. And then that second half, Kevin Porter Jr., man, 14 minutes, 11 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, no turnovers. That was huge. If you go to the box, though, defense was okay tonight. It wasn't great. The Bucks shot 51% from the field, which is really good. We shot 47, which is great. But 3-point shooting was what killed us. 29%, 9 for 31, not good. Bucks shot 14 for 39, 36%. Crushed us there. Turnovers even at 9, assists even at 25. We out-rebounded them, and we lost. Usually when we win the rebounding battle, we win. And we were up by 15, and we blew it. So that's unfortunate. Free throws, they were 18 for 22 and 82%. We shot better, 22 for 26, 85%. So big loss for the Heat, I think. I mean, because this is a game where they played really well against a solid team, and they have nothing to show for it now, which is unfortunate. Like, this would have been a solid win against a pretty good team, like a mid-tier team in the East. And so I think the Heat are probably now back to 9 after that loss. No, they're still 8, actually. Okay. So the Heat are 8th. We're 26 and 29, and the Magic are 29 and 30 in front of us. So yeah, that was a pretty big loss. We would have been 27 and 28. Now we're again a full game behind the Magic instead of like a half game. And we are, let's see, 4 games now from the 6th seed, which is unfortunate. The Pistons are 31 and 26, man. So the Bucks are the 5th seed. They're 32 and 24 now. And we are 5.5 games behind them, 6 games behind the Pacers for 4th. So it doesn't seem like a lot, but this Miami Heat team cannot string together wins. Anytime they would go up 3 games above 500 this season, they would lose 3 in a row or lose 2 in a row. And anytime they go down below 3 games or 2 games below 500, they always win a game or so and then lose another. So they keep hovering close to like 500, which is what this team is. An average mediocre team probably will be in the play-in. Most likely, it seems like it's going to be very difficult to get out of the play-in and become a 6 seed, but it's still possible. We'll see what happens. But anyway, that's all I have for this video. Let me know what you guys' thoughts are on this game. What are your thoughts on us blowing in another 40-point game for Tyler Herro? Like, he must be pissed, which sucks. We need Tyler. We need to get help for Tyler. I can't believe we keep losing these games, man. It's just unfortunate. But again, I'm not upset anymore. I've tempered my expectations. I'm just going to enjoy the games for what they are. And if we lose to the Hornets or if we lose to the Hawks or any other crappy team in the West, that are not playing teams, even so like 12, 13, 14 and above, then I'm going to be mad in those games that we lose. Any other team we play against the Magic, against the um, Pacers, or whoever it is, Kings, even on that end, even if we play, I think we already played them twice, maybe. Yeah, we have actually. We lost both games. Any of those type of caliber teams, I'm not going to expect the Miami Heat to win those games. So I'm just going to go at it in that approach, and I won't be as upset or tortured by these Heat games. So anyway, that's all I have for this episode. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel.